Okay, Mr. Biggs.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I thank the panelists for being here today. Dr. Patterson, I want to ask you first, and maybe we will expand it. We'll see how it goes. A number of nations have been listed as particularly pernicious in their persecution of people of faith: China, Iran, Nigeria, etc. My question to start off is, do you know how many of the nations that we are concerned with today as we sit here have actually signed on as signatories to the International Criminal Court?
I don't know how many have signed on to the International Criminal Court, but on this specific issue of religious freedom, most countries around the world, including terrible violators like Afghanistan, have signed the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, which has strong religious freedom language protecting religious freedom for institutions and organizations.
Well, the reason I ask about the International Criminal Court, because the International Criminal Court, last I heard, has about 48 signatory nations, and I'm curious what the number is here. I happened to be at the Rome conference where the document was drafted, and I will tell you that there was indicia of I shouldn't say indicia. There was a crime of genocide recognized in the International Criminal Court, which would allow prosecution of violators, both as state actors and non-state actors. And what we see in Nigeria could be categorized, I believe, as genocide under the ICC. I also believe that what's happening to the Uyghurs could be categorized as genocide underneath the ICC. But I'm not sure. I don't believe China has signed on. I'm not sure about Nigeria. And in our own state, we've never ratified membership in that. And in spite of what the ICC said, just because 40 nations ratified doesn't mean anybody else is underneath that. So I want to expand a little bit and get into some of your recommendations, Dr. Patterson. I would like Mr. Curry and then Dr. Mobbs to actually comment on this. These recommendations, like the GAO to assess and publicly report on the implementation of IRF of 1998, are you aware of any report having been done? And tell us what you think should be done and what should be assessed, what should be included in that assessment.
Certainly. I don't know of a report like this that's been done, at least not in recent years. A couple of things that could be assessed is, first, justifications for waivers, year after year after year of waivers. A second thing that could be looked at here is what programs that the U.S. has put money into have actually reaped actual tangible results promoting religious freedom. Where do we see actual difference anywhere on the ground?
And so to that point, do you see any place where our funding and our non-imposition of our own domestic policies on these nations have actually produced more religious freedom in any of these nations that we're looking at?
Well, in some cases, what you're doing is just trying to keep the door open or open new doors. But one case, and Congressman Chris Smith has a lot to say on this specific case, is the one time where we did a semi-binding compact, almost like a Millennium Challenge Corporation type of thing, but on religious freedom. The one time was with Vietnam. And Vietnam came off the CPC list, but because they promised to do some things, they had about a year or two of progress. They actually went back on the CPC list eventually because they reneged on that. But there's a case of success.
Okay, and I hate to bring this up, but as one of the witnesses has said, words do have consequences. They have meaning. And the implication to call the travel ban a religious travel ban continues to be a narrative that actually is a vile lie. That narrative is a vile lie. The travel ban of 2019 was imposed originally under the Obama administration, 2015. They undertook a great deal of study. 50 nations were included in that original ban, including Chad. But after Chad increased its ability for us to share and vet people coming in from Chad, Chad was removed from that list. The Supreme Court addressed this, and they concluded that the proclamation was neutral on its face regarding religion and applied to people of all faiths. So it undermines one's credibility to continue with this pernicious lie. I yield back.